Greetings, yes, warm greetings, and welcome to Come Let's Reason, our Conscious Corner. So I'm blessed and honoured to be joined today by Ras Julio. Ras Julio, please step forward and introduce the yourself.
Blessed love, Rastafari greetings, each and every one. Give thanks, Empress, for having me on board on your beautiful program. Give thanks and enough respect for the works. And greetings, love, and Rastafari blessings to all the listeners, the watchers, everybody that is connected with your works, yeah, from that time. So give thanks. We're here to bring some upliftment, some testimonies, and thanks once again for this blessed link that comes forward. Yes, give thanks.
Fantastic. So, Ras Julio, we met on a very special day on the Rasta calendar. I think it's one of the most important days, actually, on the Rasta calendar. And we met at a very auspicious, I think the word that we will use is auspicious, um, place. I would say also a holy place because there is a certain energy there. We met at Fairfield House on his Imperial Majesty's Earthstrong. So that was a fantastic day, really fantastic, very powerful because of some of the reasonings we heard there were very uplifting. Some of the things I'm still thinking about even now, some of the word sound power that was let off there. So tell me, what brought you, first of all, to Fairfield House? Besides being Rasta and it being an auspicious day.
Yeah, it was special. It was magic, sister. I mean, I used the right words. It was something quite unique. 130th anniversary of I Nine Majesty. So we couldn't be anywhere else if not in this house. Yeah, in his palace, in his residence, a little corner of Ethiopia in the West. So it was a vibrant experience, and it was actually the first time for Ayman to be there. Yeah, I never managed to get to Bath before that. So, things combined in a certain way, and Majesty opened the way for I and I to be there. And it was beautiful, beautiful. It was so warm. The energy was warm and the power was tangible. Enough elders, brethren, sister, man, woman, and child, everybody was there, Rasta, non-Rasta, and the inclusivity, the connection, and the familiar energy was just at its best. So for Ayman, it was a great experience, and it also coincided with another special occasion, which was the launch of my book in English that came out on that very same day. So it had a double meaning, so to speak. So I give thanks in a double way.
In a double way. But we'll come forward to the book. But when you said you've never met there before, you've never had the opportunity, where do you live? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, I'm on reside in Italy, Southern Europe, in a town called Perugia. It's just in the middle of the nation of Italy, and I live, amongst the fields, so to speak. Yeah, a little bit out of town, and that's where I have my headquarters. That my studio is here, my office is here, and my activities they just take off from this little corner of earth. And I use Perugia as a base, but I actually like and I have to move quite a lot also for work and for connecting with different Rastafari families around the world. So, being in the faith since I was a youth and growing up in this liberty, I was blessed to sit with powerful elders in Ethiopia, in Jamaica, in London as well, in UK, and the link with Bath it came out in a very special way because Brother Kingsley, also known as Rastafari Heart, is a Rastafari brethren that takes care of art activities especially the art exhibition in Bath, Fairfield House. He contacted Ayman because he was interested, in proposing me to have one of my artworks displayed inside Fairfield House. So that's how the link came about. Of course, I knew about Fairfield from back then, but that's how the more closer link manifested. And so I sent one of my artworks, which I'm blessed to have exposed upstairs in the palace. And then, from one thing and next thing come, and I started to reason with Brother Kingsley, and it happened that I booked a ticket, and I was in Bath for the 23rd of July 2022, which was a special occasion. I was already linking with Sister Pauline, which is absolutely great, and she blessed I with such a warm welcome. Brother Benji, Ras Benji, yeah, which is great, doing a great work in Fairfield House. So I mean, the link was there, but it was just the presence missing. So that was the fullness of it. And I'm involved with different Rastafari works, different cultural works. I have a radio program. It's called Ayabingi Radio. It is the only Rastafari program in Italian and in Italy. It's 100% Rastafari contents, and it's actually only Nyabingi music. We don't play reggae music, and it's on air. It's a web radio, and it's on air every Sunday evening. And obviously, you can listen to the podcast on Mixcloud anytime, anywhere. And every session, we touch a different subject concerning Rastafari living. So we go from history, spirituality, psychology, um, social living, idle food. So actually every year has a different subject. So some years we go deeper into the Bible, some other years we go more in the way of living. Yeah. So the last season, for example, was dedicated to ironies, happiness, according to Rastafari levity and way of life. So that is one of the projects. I'm also involved in writing on different platforms like rastaites.com website, and other reggae magazine, reggae websites. I have my little personal blog where I share some meditations and things like that. And yes, I am also the director and coordinator of the House of Rastafari in Rototom Sunsplash, which is an area dedicated to the Rastafari culture within the festival. We know Rototom Sunsplash is the biggest reggae festival in the world, and since 2003, Aina is there present with this big yard where we hold activities like daily seminars, which are open from by Nyabingi sessions. So we have chanting and drumming, we have photo exhibition, and there are movie screening, reasoning, and there is, of course, a humanitarian side of it. So we have some merchandising that we sell, and the profit goes to World Sound and Power Collective, which is an organization that helps the Rastafari elders in need. And I'm also blessed to be on board of this organization, which is active since 2006 now. And I help a number of elders, matriarchs and patriarchs all over the world, especially Jamaica, but also the States, also Ethiopia, UK, and so forth. So
amazing.
Yes, and aside from that, I'm involved. I would say I speak to a lot of people. Some people would call it counseling. Some people would call it, talking, coaching. I just call it. Yeah, I just call it being there. Yeah, for one another. That is the familiar vibe that we try to, establish and cultivate in Rastafari. So we give thanks. We give thanks. We don't get bored.
It seems like you're very, very busy. So how did you get chance to write a book, and what is your book about?
Yes, give thanks. The book is called Zion Train and is a Rastafari journey through spirituality and daily life. So it's actually about how to live and how to apply Rastafari levity to daily life. So it's a focus on spirituality, but applied, yeah, to our life. The objective for I and I is to live an inspired life. If we manage to get there, that is what we can call Zion, Zion on earth. So we don't really wait to go to paradise, yeah, on another life, yeah. That's how somebody called it. So we don't really call it like that, yeah. So we aspire to our paradise, our heaven here on earth, yeah, right now. And that is sounds very great, but how do you apply it? From where do you start? So the book, aspire to give some insight, some sharing about this journey, which is Rastafari levity, to find our own Zion and cultivate it and manifest it right here. It's not something metaphysical. Of course, there is in there some philosophy, there is some theology, especially concerning the figure of His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie I, but it has nothing to do with astral journeys or metaphysical journeys. In fact, it's quite realistic, yeah, because spirituality must be applied in our everyday life. Our objective is to uplift, to elevate our mundane life,
Yeah.
and to make it just more godly, to
Yes.
make it to make it better. Yes, not only on an abstract level, but in a very, very real level. So there is a part of the book which is really focused also on little tips, how to use understanding, how to use strength, how to use compassion in order to fix up also our legal problems, daily problems, like maybe you have an argument with your wife, with your workmate, with your friends, and you can use certain elements of Rastafari levity in order to avoid, or if you cannot avoid it, if you don't manage to avoid it, at least to fix it, yeah, in a better way, in a more spiritual way. So that's one side of the book. Another side of the book, and here we go more into the Rasta mystics of it, is concerning the person of His Imperial Majesty, and especially the gifts of the Spirit, which are found in the book of Isaiah, and they are the characteristics according to those we will recognize the Messiah. So Isaiah speaks about it, and he said that when the Messiah will come, he will have those spirits, and they are called the gifts of the Spirit. So the book presents a new interpretation, which actually has never come out before this time. And the interpretation is that the gifts of the Spirit and the titles of His Imperial Majesty, which he has taken during his coronation, they are not only related, but they are entirely connected. So the gifts of the Spirit that we find in the book of Isaiah are nothing else than the manifestation and the reflection of the royal titles of His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie I, which he has taken on the 2nd of November 1930. So that's a next level that we hope to inspire the people into this meditation. Yes.
So I'm very interested about the different sectors of Rasta communities around the world, because one of the things that I've realized is that there is nowhere on earth that you can go and there's not a Rasta community. I can't think of anywhere you know, and with the greatest of love, Rastafari burn Rome. But even in the heart of Rome, there is Rasta. We're not fire burning you guys because you guys are we're standing side by side. But it just goes to show that nowhere on the earth there isn't a Rasta presence of some sort. So what is Rasta liberty like in Rome, in Italy?
Well, yes, sister, I would say no place falls short of the presence of the Almighty. So even in the belly of the beast, which is Rome, yeah, man, we day the same way. We day the same way. Actually, it's a great work and a great responsibility. There is a lot of history to be re-explained, re-read, and maybe also rewritten. Yeah. So actually, it's a great job. It's quite a massive job, to be here and to have to testify the divinity of His Imperial Majesty, which to the eyes of many people was the enemy of this very same country. But at the same time, there is a lot of people also in this country which was on the other side of the battlefield, even at that time. So there is a lot of people that was against fascism, yeah, a lot of victims of fascism, even in Italy, yeah, a lot of Italians, they were themselves victims of fascism, and His Imperial Majesty knew this very, very well, and in fact, he also speaks about it. So we would say that really there is no place on earth where there is a void of the presence of the King of Kings, of the power of the King of Kings. And concerning the liberty right now, well, everywhere we go, Rastaman live pretty much the same. Yeah, a true devoted Rastafari, brethren or sister has a very common liberty everywhere you go. So there is the ital liberty, there is the conduct, there is a manner, there is a daily spirituality, there is contact with nature, and involvement with people, trying to affect positively the society where you live. So I would say that I've met certain people and they could be the same if you take them in the jungle of Jamaica or in the highlands of Ethiopia, or even if you take them and put them in a skyscraper in Manhattan, they would just be the same. And that's the purity of Rastafari, that's the integrity, when I and I don't really need much aside from our little privacy and time, to cultivate our spirituality. And then is devotion to the people, to the work that you do, and to the family that you raise. So is everywhere we go, we have a conduct of life. We have a manner in which we conduct ourselves, which is different, and which make I like a nation within the nations. So we are just a different set of people, So we just live in a different way, trying to affect everybody around with a truly positive energy. Yeah, no discrimination, no barriers, but the mission once again is to uplift the surroundings, the society, to have an effect on our environment in order to manifest the true Zion here on earth. And even in the heart of Babylon, you have Zion.
Yeah.
No worries and no problem, no doubts about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm nodding, and I'm thinking to myself, that is so true, because irregardless, and I've been certain countries, and not exactly as you said, wherever you go and they're Rasta, you can tell the difference between Rasta and somebody with dreadlocks, because there is a difference. I was reasoning with someone the other day. So we went to a music festival, and my friend, who's not Ras, they saw somebody walking along, because I don't know if you've seen them. There are these little crochet hats, and out of them they have false dreadlocks hanging out. And now my friend was offended to the night. I mean, every time there was a person, and every time they saw this person with the false dreadlocks hanging out, they would just, this is not right, this is not right. And we kept having similar conversations, not identical, but similar conversations. And I get it from both sides, which I think is a bit strange for me, but I get it from both sides. Some people in their heart want that Rasta liberty, but their external surroundings, their environment, make it impossible, or they don't have that internal courage. I think the word I'm looking for is courage. They don't have that internal courage to say, let me step into this lifestyle wholeheartedly. So they buy false locks with that, you know, that false berry, the false locks, put it on, and then for a day, whenever they put it on, or for that time, they feel like Rasta. Unfortunately, which is why I said I can see it from both sides, unfortunately, on our side, we've had to take that step. We've had to go through those tribulations. We've had to climb that spiritual mountain. And it's not good to see somebody almost taking a mockery out of our liberty. Even though for their side, they see it as they're really identifying and feeling Rasta for a day. On our side, it's a bit like, you're imitating us, and imitation is a form of flattery, but this is kind of, what's the word? It's almost diminishing our struggle, because you're not acknowledging, you know, I don't know about you, but I can say, for some people, even from, you know, people from Caribbean descent, and you know this because of places like Coral Garden and the massacre in Coral Garden, being Rasta, we've had to stand up and take a stance. Some people have lost their lives. You know, some really horrible things have happened to people because of this external dreadlocks. Not the heart, because you can hurt the flesh, but you can't really attack the heart. So I just see it and I just think, oh, please stop. And as I said, my friend was very angry, very angry, very angry.
Yeah, you know, sister, if they mock I, that means I truly powerful, you know.
Mm.
Yeah, there is also this way to look at it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not complacent with it.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm saying is that if you look at it with understanding, yeah, the more Babylon try to ridiculize, to mock something, is because that something is really, really powerful. It has an energy. And so the only way to try to put it down is to make it appear as a joke.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that is just another side of the story. And as much as our power, our presence, our integrity grows, we will see at the same time, you know, growing also this kind of ridiculization. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But that is a sign that we are becoming bigger, more visible, stronger, and more amongst the people, much more out there. Because if nobody ever knew I, well, nobody would ever mock I.
True.
And once again, I'm not saying it's right. I mean, that is something which should not be happen. Yeah, nobody should ridiculize. Nobody should, you know, make a joke about a spiritual tradition, any spiritual tradition, any moral kind of way of life, religion, or whatever philosophy. No man should really do such a thing. But because it's happening, yeah, it's good that we observe it deeply. Yeah, it can be seen actually. I'm not saying as a good sign, but as a sign of strength from our side.
Yeah, I agree. We're so powerful. People want to be us without going through the struggle that we've had to go through. And I don't mean even personal struggle, I mean collectively as Rastas from when we first came onto the scene till today. There's been struggles. It's not an easy thing being Rasta sometimes. Would I change being Rasta? No. This is the calling to which I've been called. I say that. I laugh because even before I had dreadlocks, I was surrounded by Rasta, that I was enveloped in that Rasta community, and everyone kept saying, Sister Angela, well, I wasn't even Sister Angela then, it was Angela. You're not going to lock up? No, 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 no. But I'm still surrounded, like to my front, to my left, to my back, to my right, pure Rasta people. But it wasn't time for me to take that next step. So I kind of apply that to those people and think, well, it's a journey. And maybe that's their way of being comfortable where they are. I don't know. So tell me, you are going to Rototom. I've been to Rototom. I've seen the reggae, the Rasta community there. And I want to commend you. I didn't even know it was you. But I want to commend you for the fantastic work that you do and are doing and have done to take Rasta liberty to the masses. Because that's really what you did. I've been there a couple of times. I've been to Rotterdam a couple of times and I've been through. And I now know when you said you have a stall, I now know because I've been there and I've seen the stuff from Ethiopia and the crosses and the frankincense. I never knew that was you, but I've been there. So thank you.
Yes, a connection. You must come back.
I will.
Pretty soon.
I was looking at the temperature because I like Rototom, and I was looking at the temperature and I was saying to my friend, oh, it's really warm in Rototom. It's really warm. It's really warm. But it's too late now. For me, it's never too late to do a good thing. But for me, I like to book early so that I've got, a wider choice of hotels. I've got a cheaper flight. Because when you leave it to this sort of time, you're now having to take what's left of accommodation and things like that. So,
well, my sister, next year, maybe, if you wish, we would be happy to have you amongst the team of the House of Rastafari. So maybe you don't come as part of the public, but maybe you can come as part of the working team.
I would love that.
And we would be very, very honored to have you and your works. Conscious Corner can be there. I know we can do works, we can stream, we can, show, we can record interviews. We actually have our own media office within the House of Rastafari, and on the YouTube channel, Rastaites, we screen every day. We have a daily journal from day zero when we are setting up, the tent and everything is just inside boxes. Yeah, so from that time until the end, the closure, the end of the festival, and that is a daily journal we have. So maybe next year, we're in communication. And you come on the other side of the festival, which is even more amazing to work in such a powerful project, which is the House of Rastafari. As is not because I run it, but is because the powers and the grace of the King of Kings, which has moved this work since almost 20 years now, because I started back in the days, it was year 2003.
Okay.
And I must say that the original idea was not from I, but was from the organizers. So bless them. We have to recognize that they had the humbleness and the good spirit to say, hey, there is a lot of people which is interested in Rastafari amongst the reggae public, but we cannot provide proper information and education about this subject. So why don't you, Rastafari people in Italy, come and provide this service? Because remember, that time the festival was in Italy. The festival was born in Italy. The organizers are all Italian, and now they have moved to Spain because Italy basically kicked out the festival for a numbers of reasons, but we are not talking about them now, but they are pretty obvious. And who is involved in reggae music knows about them. And so the festival moved to Spain. So the organizers back in 2003 come to I and say, hey, would you like to come and, run a series of activities like seminars, talking? And so we started with a little tent, just a shaded gazebo, a plastic tent just there, doing few reasoning, a little art craft, little flag, little Ethiopian coffee, these kind of things. And from that time, the work just take off. And now, if it wasn't for COVID, this was our 19th edition. So because we missed, obviously, 2 years of COVID because the festival didn't take place, so this is the 17th. But, we give thanks because it's a very, very powerful mission. Every year we have, I would say, tens of thousands of people passing through the House of Rastafari, connecting. So from that ground, a lot of projects are born, a lot of people have met, couples, have married, a true power. So every year we have some guests. This year we have Ras Julio, Rastafari, which is a very well-known elder from Jamaica, as well as foundation singer, activist, very well-known Rastafari activist, part of Ethiopian World Federation and a numbers of other projects. For years we had Ras Tafari, Nyabingi Ancient from Jamaica, creator and mind behind the Wise Mind publications. We have Ras Ibi, which is a brethren repatriated from Europe to Ethiopia, Shashamani, and then Arba Minch, living in Ethiopia now 20 years. And then we have people from, I would say, 12, 13 different countries, 3 continents, just the team. And then obviously you have the public coming and joining the session. In 2019, there was Prince Ermias as special guest at one of our sessions. So it's truly beautiful, to see the powers of the Rastafari Livity connecting so many people. And through the years, we have been able to help a lot of elders, through a little selling, little donation. At the end of the festival, we have a little funds that we send to Jamaica to help the elders in need. And so actually we live in tomorrow, so it's just the opening, of the dances.
So, Ras Julio, I want to thank you, and I've had a timer warning that we're actually running out of time. Zoom, it's limited. So I want to thank you. I don't want to take up any more of your time. I sincerely want to thank you. I'd love to take you up on your offer for next year. That would be a fantastic experience. And maybe we can do something also to support and help Fairfield House, because, that's Father's home. Even though he's not living there anymore, I know his energy is still there. I've got so many stories I could tell you about Fairfield House, but time at this present time is not permitted. So, Ras Julio, thank you for joining me today on Conscious Corner. Thank you.
It was a pleasure. Give thanks, sister. Keep on the good works. Keep the light shining. Selassie the first.
Bless
more time, more
Bless
time,
it.
more time.
Thank you. Thank you.